and welcome back to WHF after the closing of last week's Tier 1. Now we're doing a mini-season with Formula 2, just in the break before the new game comes out, and should be an interesting one considering I don't know any of the teams. We know all the drivers, but I know none of the teams. But we will have a quick look at the lineup that we've got here this evening. So in the AIX, we've got Cthulhu and EVR Callum. In Art, we've got Echo and Codzilla. In Campos, we've got Aaron and F1 Mallard. In the Dams, we've got Ultra Titan, who was the Williams driver in Tier 1, the Lanky One, who was driving in Tier 2, Kevin Cal, the Tier 2 champion, Zeege for the high-tech team. For the Invicta, we've got Zeus and SNZ. And in MP, we've got Ledgeman and Ollie Bean. And then we've got the Tier 1 champion, Arrow, and Ty Clear and the Prima. Obviously, both Ferrari drivers for the previous season, Tier 1 and Tier 2 respectively. And moving on down, we've got Young Himi Dimes and Sci-Fi Mega Hype in the Rodens. Young Himi Dimes making a name for himself in Tier 2. I believe he was moved up to Tier 1. We've got Osama bin F1 Lime in the Trident, and his teammate will be Nuto for the mini-season. This will be a very short few weeks. I believe it'll fly by. So we are in Great Britain this evening. Next week we'll be in Belgium, followed by Texas, and then we will be in Austria. So 4 races for the mini-season in Formula 2. And by the looks of it, we have most of the drivers currently in, a few not currently present, but should be quite an interesting race this evening. Currently 15 drivers ready to get qualifying out the way, and I believe we'll be doing one-shot quali. Is it a sprint race? I don't believe it's a sprint race. Anyway, in the commentary booth this evening is just myself, but should be an eventful one. Any race that involves F1 Lime is always going to be an eventful one. And, you almost do feel bad at taking jabs at the guy because he has said, he's trying really hard to be a bit of a cleaner driver. He's hoping to come back next season and get rid of the stereotype he's made for himself for causing safety cars. So 5 drivers, I believe, still outstanding, which is quite strange because we did have a full grid, but we do have a few missing. Let me just quickly check the chat and see if anybody's said anything. Oh, quite a lot happening in the chat. The Sci-Fi Mega Hype, I believe, is one of the drivers currently not in. There's going to be a few reserves in this evening that I believe are not on the lineup. So we do have 4 that declined to participate, that being Zeus, Mallard, Martin Louis, Gianelli, Ultra Titan, all declined for this evening due to availability. I believe that might be just from possibly having some other things going on, but we have started an earlier time this evening just to accommodate for the quali that's going to be happening in Miami. And yeah, should be an amazing race, and looking forward to it. Obviously, going to be a bit of a change of pace with it being Formula 2 cars, but we do have a mix of the Tier 1 and Tier 2 drivers in. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody measures up. Obviously, Kevin Cal and Codzilla being moved up at the start of next season, going up to Tier 1, leaving the rest of us slowpokes behind in Tier 2. And there we go. Looks like we are finally making our way into the lobby, but quite a few people have not showed. There was 15 accepted, but have not come in. Let's see if we can find out who they are. The lanky one is not in, but he did put himself down. I predict a Lime top 5, says Mike. Top 5 of 6 finish. I'll hopefully be back next week, either to race or join you in the commentary box, my friend. Well, I hope so, Mike. It's always appreciated having you in the commentary box and having somebody to talk to. And I would love to talk about the Miami sprint race. Oh my goodness, the chaos that unfolded is unbelievable. There was everything. There was rain, there was slicks, there was hydroplaning, DNFs all over the place. There was drama in the pit lane. I mean, just absolute chaos. Like, you'd swear it was one of the WHF races when like there was 3 limes on the grid or something with all the things that happened. And you got to feel bad for Antonelli, who did start on pole. I believe he finished P11. But got to be happy for the boy Lando. Managing to clutch that win. And Mike in the chat says that sprint was nuts, and possibly more rain tomorrow as well. Oof. That could be quite an eventful one, because from what I saw, it doesn't look like the type of track that handles rain very well. They had to do a lot of preparation beforehand. And even then, the rear ends of the cars kept going a little bit loose. You saw it a lot, especially with the pitch changes on the track. Makes it very interesting. Oh. So we will be going in 1 minute's time. I'm going to see if I have Sci-Fi Mega Hype. I don't believe I do. I don't have Sci-Fi Mega Hype as a friend by the looks of it. If anybody's in the chat has him on his friend list and is listening to the stream, please do send him an invite. As we get ready to get underway, we will have a quick look at those teams once again. Obviously, a few drivers. Oh, there we go. Always got to remember the keys at some point. So I didn't actually check who was in. Was Cthulhu in? So these are the teams and who's meant to be driving for them. And I don't believe we've been able to get Sci-Fi Mega Hype in. Pneumatic is in. The lanky one was not. Mallard was not. Zeus was not. But we will hop back in as the countdown starts. for what I believe is going to be a one-shot quali. And hopefully you will all join us tomorrow evening for the first event of May Mystery Month. Where are all my overlays? There we go. So first out will be WT Addiction in the... I couldn't even tell you because I don't know the teams, unfortunately, but I still don't know. Drawing a complete blank, no idea what that is. So, one-shot quali, and we'll check what Lime's up to. Osama bin Laden. So, not really a whole lot to say with it being one-shot quali, but people to keep your eye out on will be Arrow. Definitely want to keep your eyes on, as well as Kevin Cal. But we are on board with Ollie Bean, who's in the MP. And we'll take a quick look at Arrow, who appears to be doing fairly well. LTJ Ellis has retired from the session. No idea what happened there. I wonder if anybody's been putting in a bit of practice. Obviously, Arrow will be in the Prima. I believe he's in Behrman's car, who's doing quite well in the Haas in Formula 1. To my knowledge, most overtakes so far this season out of any driver. Lewis 8 times Ferrari and Young Himi Dimes have been disqualified. What on earth has happened? Arrow qualifies second. If anybody in the chat is able to offer us any kind of insight, as Echo puts it on pole, 3/10s quicker than Arrow. Lime, absolutely sensational, coming in 2/10s quicker than the Tier 2 champion from last season. SNZ not far behind. WT Addiction also in the mix. And then way at the back, we've got Tantrum Turnip. I believe he is new. Can't say I've seen him on the grid before. Cthulhu. Ty Clear, Arrow's teammate, all the way down in P9. Obviously, we had quite a few DNFs. I should have checked the race director. But, you know, we live and we learn. Well, even when it's one-shot quali, things get pretty spicy. As we did have, I believe, 4 people DNFing. There. I've managed to invite you, Sci-Fi, if you've been... Oh, no. That's got to be early, surely. But with that, we are lights out. Shit. Surely that's early. That's got to be early. But we are with Cthulhu into turn 1. And he's making good progress, getting away from Ty Clear in the Prima. Arrow dropping all the way down. TFU drivers not used to the less downforce that the Formula 2 cars provide. And we've got a caution. Doesn't seem to be anything to be too worried about currently. But on board with Cthulhu currently leading the race. Ty Clear looking to make a move down the inside. No, keeps it nice and safe. Arrow up to P3. As the two Primas set their sights on the AIX of Cthulhu. Arrow taking the inside line from Ty Clear now, coming into Cop's corner. Might go wide, could potentially see a switchback from Ty, but no, he's playing it safe. The team game as we come into Maggots and Beckets. Cthulhu on a little bit of a breakaway, 5/10 ahead. Godzilla and Echo not too far behind. So Mike with a good bit of insight there on Formula 2 cars. They are V6 turbo engines with about 650 horsepower, and they are about 10 seconds slower per lap than the F1 cars. They do not have overtake, but they do have DRS. Arrow getting a little bit side by side with Cthulhu, makes a slight lunge for the inside. They maintain racing distance well as they come into the final corner. Pneumatic picking up a 3-second time penalty. Young Himi Dimes moving way up the pecking order, able to make up quite a few places as we come into turn 1. Godzilla on the rear of Arrow, and Arrow still hoping to get the opportunity to get ahead of Cthulhu, as Godzilla now could be looking to make a move on the outside. Gets a fairly decent line. Cthulhu getting sloppy out of turn 1. As we come into the DRS straight, Arrow with a much better exit onto the DRS straight, and Cthulhu will not have it. He's going to get eaten alive by every car that seems to be around him. Godzilla going for the inside, Arrow on the outside as they go 3 wide. Oh, that was not a very good move by Lewis 8 times Ferrari, I believe it was. No, not. It was Echo. Not a very good move with an attempt down the inside, but Godzilla and Arrow now making their way into Cop's corner. Ty Clear trailing just slightly behind his teammate as Cthulhu goes very wide into Cop's. Bold strategy there. Lewis 8 times Ferrari just off of the podium in 4th place. But it will be interesting to see if Godzilla is going to be able to get ahead of WHF Arrow here on the DRS straight, or if he is just going to be able to make up a little bit of time. Lime 11 places down on the first lap. The Sci-Fi Mega Hype, I tried to invite you, mate, but there wasn't the 5-minute wait like there usually is. So unfortunately I couldn't really do much there for you. I tried. So coming to the final corner down the main straight is Arrow, who seems to be putting a little bit of a gap on Godzilla. If he can find another 2.5 tenths, he can break away from DRS, but I don't believe that's going to happen this lap. But certainly in the coming laps, Kevin Cal with the new fastest lap. And we'll take a little look at some of the detail. We'll get some tire on here. Everybody on the hards. We are doing only 11 laps for the sprint. Well, if I'm not mistaken, it's a sprint followed by the main race. So there's a chance you'll be able to make it in for the main race at least, if you wanted to. Lewis 8 times Ferrari losing out massively, 1.2 tenths behind the front of the pack, Godzilla and Arrow. And Godzilla showing exactly why he's been moved up to Tier 1 here, as he is a competitive driver. Coming into Maggots and Beckets, trailing by 6 tenths is Godzilla. And Arrow's teammate not too far behind. Lewis 8 times Ferrari only 5 tenths off. Godzilla going to be looking to close that gap a little bit now with the DRS. He is able to pick up a few tenths down straight here, but won't be enough for anything too exciting to happen. But we've got Tantrum. Could we see a lunge coming to the second to last corner? Or could Kevin Cal make his way further up? And Tantrum goes very wide. Kevin Cal now was attempting to look for the switchback, but saw that the Red Bull, I guess, of Tantrum looked a bit sloppy coming out of the second to last corner there. As they go into turn 1, Tantrum seems to be really struggling. He's way off the pace of SNZ and Cthulhu, who have a nice little battle going with each other. I do like the colors on that AIX. SNZ with a beautiful inside line. Not going to get the exit he was hoping for, though, as Cthulhu makes a bit of a breakaway down the DRS straight. Not to be deterred, though. SNZ will have DRS. Not enough to make a move down that rather short straight. Oh, we've got a yellow out. Unsure why. Condzilla has narrowed that gap to only 4/10 as we round Cop's corner. Making our way into Maggots and Beckett's. Could the DRS straight be long enough for Condzilla to reel Arrow in and get that position back here on the 4th lap of the Formula 2 Mini Championship? F1 Lime doing what F1 Lime does. Picking up penalties and falling all the way down to P11. Massive fallout for him, unfortunately, compared to where he started. So we've got Echo and Ty Clear with a bit of a battle going on as Echo makes his way ahead, and Condzilla and Arrow, not much really going to happen there. The gap's still a little bit too big, but Ty Clear has Echo in his sights as he comes round the final corner. Just about matching pace, maybe a hair slower as we come into turn 1. And just massive gaps across the field here. So Echo to Lewis. Everybody's sort of got a partner to be battling with the exception of the bottom 4. So coming down the DRS straight. Here. Got yellow flags out once again. Turn 2. No, 1, 2, turn 3. Yeah, count them. Cthulhu and SNZ could have a bit of a battle going on, but Kevin Cal has a front row seat to it. So Ollie Bean and LTJ Ellis, as well as Pneumatic, quite far down in this race, along with Young Himi Dimes and F1 Lime falling way off. But Kevin Cal now down the DRS straight. Looks like he's got the pace. He's taking the inside line. Oh, they almost make a bit of contact there, but they keep it clean. As Cthulhu didn't really put up too much of a fight. Now into the 3rd to last corner, I believe it is. And Kevin Cal has managed to get past, but Cthulhu has a very pissed off looking WT Addiction on his rear as they come into turn 1. Addiction definitely carrying more speed, but seems to have to slow down for Cthulhu. They are millimeters apart. But Addiction, is it going to be enough? He's going to try for the move anyway down the inside. Is able to get it done nice and clean. Cthulhu leaving just about enough space there. Now that they've swapped positions. The only problem is that battle has let Kevin Cal break away by 1.8 seconds. Now setting his sights on SNZ coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Oh, SNZ loses the rear there. You always have to be careful with the curves. It unsettles the car massively. We should see Kevin Cal make an easy pass on SNZ. SNZ taking up the middle of the track. Kevin Cal looking to take the inside line. Gets the move done well before the corner. Young Himi Dimes with the 3-second penalty out latest defender. Cthulhu getting past WT Addiction. Addiction not going to be too happy about that. But we've got SNZ and Kevin Cal side by side through both of those corners. SNZ, the winner out of those two, obviously getting the inside line. Kevin Cal has his work cut out for him to try and make those moves. Once again, WT Addiction now looking to try and make a move before turn 1. Not going to be able to get it done, but does have the pace. He knows on the next DRS straight he should be able to make the move on Cthulhu. Oh, that's going to cost him WT Addiction. Oh, no. And he's picked up a penalty for his efforts as well. But both drivers have penalties. We could see Kevin Cal possibly make a move here very shortly. So Addiction and Kevin Cal have all eyes on them, but Lewis A. Times Ferrari is within lunging distance of Godzilla. And Echo just behind. We've got a yellow flag. Doesn't seem like too much has happened there. May have been WT Addiction. I can't tell if anybody has damage. F1 Lime getting ahead of Cthulhu. Cthulhu does have some wing damage. It may have been a coming together that happened there. I wonder if Cthulhu's managed to come away scot-free with no damage at all. But Arrow now, doing what he couldn't do in Tier 1, has a massive breakaway, 3-second lead. But on the upside, these three drivers, Echo, Lewis 8 times Ferrari, and Godzilla, all within fighting distance of each other. But we see SNZ and Kevin Cal swap positions once again. We'll see if they change one more time as we make our way onto the DRS straight. Kevin Cal, obviously a very talented driver, the previous season's Tier 2 champion. SNZ will not have the legs to make a move. Not yet, anyway. A lot of drivers picking up penalties. We can see quite a few people must not have practiced the Formula 2 cars. Obviously have less downforce and no ERS. Coming through, Maggots and Beckett's Lewis 8 times Ferrari, our latest defender, with penalties. But Echo making his way up into P3 will be a podium. His teammate Godzilla, another one of the new drivers, moving up to Tier 1. Oh, LTJ Ellis has retired from the session. He's off track. I don't believe that'll be a safety car. So we'll go on board. I was hoping the car would at least stay there while Arrow went past so we could see what happened. But I suspect he may have not been having a good time and maybe decided not to continue the race. SNZ trailing to Kevin Cal, but Cthulhu, Lime, and Addiction now bunched up. Cthulhu obviously has that wing damage. Lime does not appear to have any, and I'm still unclear on whether Addiction does or does not. But we've got Godzilla, who now needs to try and defend from his teammate Echo. He'll be wise not to put up too much of a fight, as obviously Echo does have that 3-second time penalty, but they are going side by side. Lewis 8 times Ferrari enjoying the view in P4. Hoping to capitalize on any mistakes the two might make as they make their way over to Cop's Corner now. Kevin Cal is going to get back past SNZ. SNZ with another switchback as they are looking to go side by side into Cops. But so... oh my god, there's too much happening at once. You guys need to slow down here. I've managed to miss both moves, one right after the other. That was beautiful from me. As they make their way through Cop's Corner, SNZ seems to be handling a little bit better than Kevin. But Lewis 8 times Ferrari is going to get ahead of Godzilla, falling the way down to P4. Cthulhu, our latest offender for track limits. So this little bunch here, very entertaining to watch, but Arrow is loving the drama as he sets a new fastest lap and opens up their gap to just shy of 5.2 seconds. As Echo going to lead us into turn 1 on lap 10 now. So all the way back, we've got Lime in P10. The gap looked a lot smaller. So I think that's Cthulhu going to be coming to the pits to retire, unfortunately. Our current race leader is Arrow with a massive 5.2 second gap to P2. So the remaining podium holders would be... Actually, Cod would still have P2 currently with the gap, followed by Echo. So he's done well here. He's playing the smart game. He might not have the podium on track, but he will have it after all the penalties have been stabilized. Cthulhu is going to be seeing the race out Luce times Ferrari with yet another penalty. Really does need to be careful, as he could be giving up his position as far back as Ty Clear. So we'll just take a look at the penalties. So if Ty Clear is able to keep that gap under 6 seconds, or actually 5.5 due to Godzilla's gap, he should be able to get E4. Oh, we've got SNZ. Ahead of Kevin Cal as they come onto the final two corners. And we make our way onto the last lap. We'll keep an eye on the gaps and see where we can find the action, but a lot of gaps happening left, right, and center. Godzilla is fading. He needs to be careful to make sure he can stay within DRS range, otherwise he might fall all the way back and risk losing that P2. But Arrow, just happy as Larry in P1. I bet he's lonely. USA times Ferrari seems to be trailing a little bit off the pace of Echo. Kevin Cal with a move down the inside off the DRS straight, but SNZ holding on for the inside line. Kevin Cal going to go for the switchback now and take us all the way down into Cops Corner. SNZ having the better exit. Kevin unable to get the switchback done. The Arrow dominance will go crazy. He's doing here what he couldn't do in Tier 1. And he will be finishing first on track. We need to make sure we go on board with him to cross the line for this momentous occasion. And it looks like the closest gaps are going to be Godzilla and USA times Ferrari. But we will go on board with Arrow for the final few corners, so that we can get him crossing the line. Because there you have it. Your race winner for the sprint will be WHF Arrow, followed by, I believe it'll be Godzilla, then Echo, Lewis 8 times Ferrari, and we'll check out Ty Clear as he makes his way across the line. 4P5, Kevin Cal, and SNZ with a late move. Kevin Cal with a late move. Oh no. Hey? Yeah, SNZ did make a late move, but I believe due to penalties. Kevin Cal will still finish ahead, followed by WT Addiction, Young Himi Dimes, F1 Lime, the terrorist himself, managed to finish the race without causing a safety car. Can he do it in the main race too? That'll be left to be seen. Pneumatic, the next to be crossing the line. And Ollie Bean not far behind. And Cthulhu will be all the way down in last place. Unfortunately, he did pick up that wing damage. And sad to see him have fallen off as badly as he did. That is exactly what I was saying, Mike. Doing here what he couldn't do in Tier 1, but your driver of the day will be Echo. I'm going to kill Addiction. Well, we did not see it here, unfortunately, Lime. congratulations on 1, finishing the race, and 2, not causing a safety car. So here you have it for the sprint race. WHF Arrow, Codzilla, Echo, Lewis 8 times Ferrari, Ty Clear, Kevin Cal, SNZ, Addiction, Young Himi Dimes, F1 Line, Tantrum, Turnip X, Ollie Bean, Nudomatic, and Cthulhu, followed by LTJ Ellis, who retired earlier in the race. Fairly straightforward. There was a lot of gaps I'd like to see in the main race. People keep those gaps a bit closer, but congratulations to Arrow for winning the sprint, and it'll be interesting to see if he can keep that momentum going into the main race, and if there'll be any bad blood from a few people saying that they were pissed off with other drivers. But I'm going to get this cam off, just because Arrow will hate me. Sci-Fi, are you able to... Sci-Fi, are you able to join now? Or? So, quite a few people in the chat saying, I'm not happy with this driver and that driver, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any sort of pushback and attempts at revenge as we make our way into the main race. Yeah, Cthulhu in the F2 driver chat saying he led for 1 lap, his life is complete. So, Sci-Fi Mega Hype could potentially be on grid. He missed out on the one-shot quali. Oh, Sci-Fi Mega Hype has left the session. Was there no luck there, Sci-Fi? And we are 1 light, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And with that, it is lights out. And away we go. We'll be doing 15 laps of Silverstone. Echo with a much better launch than Arrow coming into turn 1. Addiction making moves, taking his own racing line, not even on the track. F1 Lime up to P3, getting ahead of Addiction coming into turn 2. And we've got Addiction round. He's not going to be happy about that, as he falls all the way to the back of the pack. SNZ now up to P5. And we've got a whole lot of position changes happening. Godzilla all the way down in P8. He's going to have to work to get ahead. Ollie Bean will be happy to get... He's in the points in P6. Godzilla getting ahead of Tantrum. But Tantrum getting the position right back. And Godzilla trying to switch it right back. And Cthulhu getting really aggressive. Almost taking both of them out. Cod's not going to be happy about that in the slightest. Making our way over to Cobb's Corner. We've got Arrow and Echo with a bit of a breakaway, having a second gap to Lime. But Ty Clear could be making a move on Young Himi Dimes any second. Quite the pack going into Maggots and Beckett. Could we see too wide through any of the turns, or all drivers going to fall in line? And LTJ Ellis with a cheeky pass on Ty Clear, just ahead of Maggots and Beckett's now coming into the DRS straight. Obviously no DRS with it being the first lap. But Arrow seems to have the pace to close that gap. Must be running lower wings than Echo. Seems to be working quite well for him. Obviously he did win the sprint race. SNZ has bad blood with Kevin. Ty Clear getting ahead of LTJ Ellis. Young Himi Dimes all the way down in P10. Echo with the current fastest lap. And Kevin sets his sights on the rear of the terrorist himself. F1 Lime currently sitting in P3 with a 2-second gap to Arrow. It will be quite interesting to see what these three do here as Kevin makes a bit of contact with the rear of Lime, obviously letting him know he's not happy with the pace that Lime is showing. Obviously all drivers, I believe, will be on the softs. Every driver's on the softs with the exception of Lewis A times Ferrari and Godzilla opting to go for the hard-ons. But Kevin, Cal, SNZ, and F1 Lime together in the mix. Ollie B not too far behind, still within DRS range, along with Tantrum Turnip. As we make our way over to Cops Corner. And that gap to Arrow has opened even wider, up to 2.6 seconds. But Arrow has his work cut out for him if he wants to try and reel in the current race leader of Echo. But coming through Maggots and Beckett's now, F1 Lime managing to keep it together. Has yet to cause a safety car, but we are only 2 laps in. A whole bunch more to go as we come into the DRS straight. Kevin Cal surely going to breeze past with ease. I don't think he's going to have the legs for the move, but it did make Lime panic a little bit as he goes slightly wide. Oh, Lime defending for the inside corner. Inside of the corner, I should say. SNZ with an absolutely brazen dive on Kevin Cal. I guarantee he's not going to be happy about that. Lime P3, what is happening? You think that's the amazing part, Mike? He hasn't caused a safety car yet. I think Kevin Cal is going to be able to reel in F1 Lime shortly, but he goes a little bit wide here before the DRS race. Still not going to be within the timing. Young Himi Dimes, our first driver to pick up a track limits penalty. And Ollie Bean looking to try and maybe take the inside line of Kevin Cal, is able to get it done, keeps it mostly tidy with a little bit of contact there. SNZ looking to pick up the leftovers. He goes side by side with Kevin Cal. But from this little pack, Ollie Bean going to lead us into Cops Corner. SNZ is either driver going to give way coming into Cops. Kevin Cal going to give way, slot in just behind SNZ. But can SNZ get the exit? Tantrum Turnip with the latest track limits warning. Oh, my apologies. But we could see SNZ make short work of Ollie Bean, but Arrow is going to get ahead of Echo. Now, can he hold it as Echo makes the switch back on him? Super clean move there from Echo. F1 Lime holding on for dear life, has a gap of 1.8 seconds to defend, or to buffer himself against SNZ. And Ollie Bean with a late break on SNZ around the outside, but SNZ going to try and take the inside line in the final corner. Does keep it clean, squeezes him a little bit. Kevin Cal with the front row seat to both drivers and the chaos that is unfolding. Godzilla's out of the race, and SNZ's round contact with Kevin Cal. Thulu now picking up a track limits warning himself. 3 second, not warning, penalty, I should say. SNZ will not be happy with what's just happened to him there, as he's fallen all the way down to P10. Godzilla and WT Addiction are out of the race, but Kevin Cal making a move down the inside of Ollie Bean. Now, race with Ollie Bean, he does get a little bit aggressive, so it's fitting that he is in the Red Bull. But for the most part, he is a fair driver. And he feels if he feels you've earned the space, he will let you have it. A little bit of contemplation from Kevin there on whether to try and take the inside of Cops or whether to play it safe and slot himself just behind. Oh, he's not even in the Red Bull. I'm being an idiot. He's in the MP. Oh. Lime, if you see this, don't bottle a P3, says Brian Kippy. I mean, everything's been laid out for him. He's in no man's land. 2.2 seconds is the gap to the cars behind who do not have DRS. So currently, it doesn't get much better than this for F1 Lime. But Arrow and Echo, the front runners. And if you can get a decent enough exit, surely Arrow passes on the DRS straight here. And Ty Clear is possibly looking to make a move on Tantrum Turnip. Young Himi Dimes possibly looking to do the same thing. Arrow did not have the legs to get ahead of Echo as he defends beautifully. As we make our way towards the old pit straight. I suspect Arrow may have slightly lower wings than Echo. But it'll be interesting to see what it looks like firsthand through Maggots and Beckets. Obviously, downforce is the name of the game. Ooh. Echo makes Arrow decide. But could we see a switchback like we saw before, or is Arrow going to be able to hold it as he manages to defend quite beautifully? Could see a lunge from Echo here. No, I think he's going to play it safe going forward, but Ty Clear... Ty Clear opting for an early pit. Could see a decent undercut. The race leaders... Ty Clear and LTJ Ellis, the only two in the pit. But LTJ Ellis, naughty boy, has been speeding in the pit lane. Absolutely beautiful battle. Oh no! Arrow's gone round. Surely, Echo, you know that's your fault, and you're gonna let him come back so you guys can battle. Thank you. You'd love to see it. Great sportsmanship, and it was so entertaining watching the pair of you guys battle. I would have hated if that would have been what caused it. F1 Lion, and it's only cost them about 2 seconds. I say only, like 2 seconds is a lot in Formula 1 and Formula 2. But F1 Lion still set up beautifully for a podium. As long as he doesn't find a way to absolutely screw it up. And Arrow gonna lose out to Echo there. Might have been a small bit of contact, or maybe the wheel locked up a bit. As both the race leaders pit, could we see F1 Lion make a dive for the pit? He does. Is Ollie Bean going to match? No, he will be our current race leader. But whether or not it's going to work out for him remains to be seen, as we got almost everybody diving in the pit. And it's such a brave strategy from Ollie Bean to stay out on 6-lap-old softs. I believe Young Himi Dimes has opted to do the same. Obviously, he does have a penalty. 10-second penalty. 10-second penalty for what? Contact or like what? So it looks like only the 4 current front runners have yet to pit. Obviously, Lewis 8 times Ferrari is on the hard compound. So he's got a hard on. The three ahead of him are on the softs, and those surely will be starting to lose grip soon. Young Himi Dimes 1.8 seconds off the current race leader Ollie Bean, but it is not their true positions as these four drivers have yet to hit. But if we see that gap to Echo grow, then we know they've made the right decision. Could possibly see Pneumatic retire here as he's now up to 6 seconds of penalties and a full minute behind. He's going to be getting lapped by Ollie Bean and Young Himi Dimes here shortly for sure. So we'll try and see where the battles are happening. Lewis 8 times Ferrari licking his lips, looking at the rear end of SNZ, but not going to get the opportunity as he will be our new race leader, but not his true position as he still has to pit. Obviously, him and Cod, the only drivers that started on the hard compound. Could it pay off? It's all about the gap to Echo. Currently sits at 13.7 seconds. Obviously, Echo has Arrow for company. Oh. Tantrum Turnip has gone off and he's lost his wing. What have I missed? 10-second penalty for corner cutting and overtaking one person. On turn 1, lap 1, I remember. So Echo appears to be closing that gap to Lewis 8 times Ferrari, so this could be a case of starting on the hard compound not being the right move. F1 Lime has actually managed to increase that gap slightly. Tantrum Turnip has retired in the pits. We do appreciate when drivers take the extra minute or so to take the car back to the pits and retire there rather than on track. So, F1 Lime, 2.8 seconds ahead of Kevin Cow, and barring a safety car. Oh, Pneumatic has retired from the session as well. So that is 4 DNFs halfway through the race. So the main ones to watch is probably going to be Ollie Bean and Kevin Cow, who have a pretty tight gap. SNZ and Ty Clear could have a battle on our hands here. What is SNZ going to do? Is he going to make a move for the inside line? No, he's going to play it safe and just follow Ty Clear onto the main straight now. Cthulhu, the latest offender for track limits. Yeah, Pneumatic says, yeah, got murdered. Not about this tonight. I got pushed wide, crossing the line, and got an illegal overtake. Well, Ty Clear is going to manage to try and fend off SNZ for now. But next ones to watch is going to be Arrow and Echo. Obviously, Lewis 8 times Ferrari, the current race leader, not his true position, as he is yet to pit, and Echo is closing that gap, so hard tire does not appear to be the correct decision. SNZ licking his lips, tantalizing at the idea of getting ahead of Ty Clear and snatching that P7 position as they make their way over to Cop's corner. He seems to have the pace, has to let off the throttle a little bit, but it's never a good idea going side by side into Cop's. And there it is. SNZ now could secure it. Don't be stupid. You'll get the position. As long as you keep it nice and tidy. So is going to have DRS and should be able to complete the move with relative ease. Ty Clear looking to try and take the inside line. SNZ is going to get the move done just before the corner. A little bit close to Ty Clear there. But Ty Clear, I feel, did leave plenty of room for SNZ as he's made his way ahead now. Sets his sights on Ollie Bean, but a massive gap of 1.8 seconds. Speaking of gaps, Arrow still trying valiantly to get that position back from Echo, as he was hoping to carry that momentum from the sprint race into the main race. Kevin Cal is starting to close the gap on F1 Lime now, down to 2.5 seconds. Was 2.6 and briefly was up to 2.8 at one point. But the question is, how much quicker can Kevin Cal be? And is 5 laps enough to do it in? Yeah, Pneumatic. I think COD was also... Ooh. Brave move from Ty Clear there, but it may throw him off coming down to the old pit straight. COD seemed to be very upset as well. I think as much as the Formula 2 is for fun, I think people need to try and remember to at least take it serious. I'm not saying that anybody doesn't, but, you know, people do take it serious. Lewis 8 times Ferrari throwing away any opportunity he had to finish nice and high up on the standing, as he picks up a 10-second time penalty, which are very rarely ever overturned by our stewards here at WHF. So now all things back in order as they should be, in perfect balance. The actual race leader is in the lead as Echo and Arrow have broken away massively from the pack, and closing up the podium is Lime, but he's losing a lot of time by the looks of it. He just needs to keep it clean and he will have a podium on his hands. Keep it clean, but keep it fast, because Kevin... Oh, actually, that's worked out beautifully for Lime, because Lewis 8 times Ferrari now has Kevin Cal to play with. I believe they're both very quick drivers. The only problem is Lewis 8 times Ferrari is on the soft tire. Oh, he could actually end up with a podium here. That's going to just... Look at... He is catching Lime massively. Massively. That's half a tenth in half a lap. Oh, Lime, if he gets DRS, it's tickets for you, mate. No podium. Oh my god, how is he that quick? I'm shook. I'm absolutely shook. He's leaving Kevin Cal behind like he's in a Formula 3 car. I mean, he's picked up a second in half a lap. Well, 2/3 of a lap, but still. Lewis got that 10-second... Ah! Stupid me. Thank you, Brian Kippy. What would I do without you guys in the chat? Oh, I made a right cock of myself there. But to get 10 seconds ahead of Lime? And if anything, this has just helped Kevin Cal massively. Oh, you're going to have to try and defend against Lewis as much as possible, Lime. Because if he gets ahead, that leaves you wide open to Kevin. Actually, Brian, maybe you can offer some insight. Would it be better for Lime to just let him go, or to try and defend? Because if he just lets him go, that's minimal disruption, and maybe he can maintain that 2.4 second gap to Kevin Cal and still hold on to a podium, even if it's not on track. But Arrow's still sitting in P2. I wonder if he's just kind of waiting. Just waiting for the opportunity. And maybe on the final lap, on the last DRS straight, we'll see a move from him. Oh, is he going to be able to get... No! You fucking bottled it! Lime! You bottled it, mate. Oh, no. I mean, you've got DRS, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get you 3 seconds clear of Kevin. Because I believe this will be the only lap you actually get it for. And you really only gained 2/10 off of it. Oh, man. I can feel a brand of bottled water coming along, specifically lime flavored. So there's that excitement done. Obviously, Kevin Cal going to be finishing P3 unless he picks up a penalty, which I doubt. He's a very good caliber of driver, so the chance of Kevin Cal getting a penalty pretty slim, and he knows it. So nowhere really has any kind of battle going on with the exception of Ty Clear trying to get down the inside of Ollie Bean. And Ollie Bean able to defend that beautifully, but Ty Clear now with the switchback. Who's going to have the better exit as we make our way onto the old pit straight? And speaking of bottling, Arrow now has bottled his chances of first place and will have to settle for P2. Oh, what are you doing, Ty? Both drivers have penalties, but who's got more? They both have 3-second penalties. I mean, Lewis A. Times Ferrari has done well to make up the amount of positions he has. Lewis A. Times Ferrari, speaking of, now could be finishing even further back than before. Could be all the way down to maybe P10. Depending on pace and position of the other drivers. Ollie Bean does have his work cut out for him to catch up to Ty Clear. 7/10 to make up now. Almost 8/10. Moving up to 9. Just shy of 9/10 to try and make up. But should be well within the limits to try and get DRS here. Close that gap just a little bit. And the bottle master himself, F1 Lime Bottling Company. How does one throw person himself off? Throw and person should be the other way around. How does one throw... Wait, how does one person throw himself off a cliff so many times? Yeah. Sometimes he takes people with him. This could have been his redemption story, you know? Ooh, Arrow's made a move. Echo's going to get the switchback. We saw that happen, I believe, in the sprint. As the race leaders now coming onto the main straight. Going to take us into the final lap, lap 15. Through turn 1. I'm sure Arrow won't be too pleased with himself. And nowhere else is there really any gap within fighting position, but Cthulhu has managed to close the gap on Ollie Bean. So P8 could still be up for contention. No, it won't. P8 will be pretty much guaranteed to Young Himi Dimes. As long as the gap doesn't open up too much. And LTJ Ellis will be closing it out in P11. But Arrow and Echo now through Cops Corner. Into Maggots and Beckett's, and Cthulhu is going to make the move on Ollie Bean. Anyways, they went 3 wide through there. Very brave. Cthulhu going to be the big loser as he makes contact with Young Himi Dimes, who I guarantee won't be happy about that in the slightest. Oh, Young Himi Dimes can keep it clean and keep the gap this close. Oh, he's just shy of catching P7. But we'll go on board with the two race leaders coming to the final corner now. It's going to be Echo, your race winner here in the first race of the Formula 2 for WHF. And on track, Lewis 8 times Ferrari will be P3, but surely will be falling down to possibly as far as P5, maybe P6, depending on penalties. And for that brief moment, F1 Lime was P3, but Kevin Cal going to take it, and that is why he's moving up to Tier 1. He's got pace, but he's also got racecraft. He knows when to play it safe. Not something you often see all three in one driver. A lot of drivers tend to have one thing and do it exceptionally well. But Kevin Cal is an excellent all-rounder. LTJ Ellis the last to cross the line. And we'll go on board with him in the MP. So one evening it's been with the one-shot qualing. We had 4 DNFs into the sprint race. We had absolute chaos, followed by absolute cinema with Arrow taking P1 in the sprint race. And onto the main race, there was even more chaos, followed by even more cinema. And then we had front row seats to the bottling company from 2 drivers, Arrow and Lime, both managing to, unfortunately, bottle their opportunities. Lime losing out on a podium due to a 3-second penalty, and Arrow losing out his chance of winning due to a 3-second penalty, but did finish second on track behind Echo. To start us off, we will go with Lime. Lime, what was it like being in P3 for the majority of the race?
Scary.
Scary?
I had a very quick Kevin behind me.
You did, but you were managing to maintain the gap at around 2.2 to 2.6 seconds, so you would have been safe.
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me? I actually dropped my controller and I didn't hear a word you said. But yeah, I had a very quick Kevin behind me. And then coming to the last 2 laps, I was like, right, I need to drive the wheels off this car if I want to get a podium. I did. I was like 3.3 seconds off at one point. And then coming literally out of Vale chicane, I got a little bit squirrely, which literally lost me the podium. So literally, the last corner I lost it. But it's all to learn from.
Was that a case of like in your head you were like, I need to be quick to be able to get DRS for the straight?
No. I mean, when I say I need to be 3.3 seconds ahead. I want to be 3 seconds ahead of Kevin, so I can get the P3. And then I drove the wheels off of it.
Well, you didn't have to be 3 seconds ahead. You only picked up the penalty on like the second to last lap or third to last lap.
No, I didn't. I picked it up. I think it was like lap 11, 10.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then after the pit stops, Kevin was maybe 2.4 behind me, so I just kept driving the wheels off my car, and I think I got to about 3.3 ahead, and then I just kind of got screwed on literally the last lap, last corner, and then just lost it. But
you know, it's just,
it is what it is.
Brian Kippy was in the chat saying, where was it? Lime, if you see this, don't bottle a P3.
Oh, jinxed.
And then not long after that, it was after Lewis was between you and Kevin Cal.
Yeah.
And then right after that, boom, just 3-second penalty. I was just like, this guy was on his way to redeeming himself from being a terrorist to getting a P3. It was going to be the start of his hero arc.
It still can be. It's just a penalty. But I mean, I did maybe kill someone at the start of the sprint race by accident, 'cause there was so much chaos, I actually didn't know what was going on, and I think I may have punted someone off, but I'm not sure.
The start was pretty chaotic. We had a few drivers opting to take a racing line that did not involve the track.
Yeah, Echo, you'd have to like tell me if I hit you, 'cause I think I did, but I don't know what happened.
I think in the sprint into turn one on the first lap, it was too chaotic. I was like within
Yeah,
10, so it was just too chaotic into turn one, and I think we made contact.
yeah, I was trying to avoid cars left, right, and center, and it's just I just felt a little tap on my left, and I was like, what? I look up and it just says warning, contact with V Echo, and I was like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to do that.
'Cause I was in the grass into turn one, like I went off wide because I was just too many.
Yeah, then I spun at like Luffield, so I was just at the back the whole race, and then addiction killed me. I suppose karma, isn't it?
Yeah. It was very entertaining to watch, though. Very different flow to the Formula One car, so it was interesting for me to see that. But way bigger gaps than we've seen in any of the races I've done commentary on this season or previous season.
Yeah, I must admit the first 2 laps I was like, I wonder what I can do to Arrow and Echo. Second lap, oh, they're gone. I can't do anything. They're gone. Like fifth lap in, they're like 6 ahead of me. I was like, oh my god, what am
Yeah.
I doing? And I looked behind me and I was like, Kevin was right at my ass. Now he's like 3 seconds behind me. What on earth happened? And I was
See,
just in no man's land for ages.
Kevin ended up battling with I want to say it was Ollie Bean and SNZ, and there was a bit of an incident. I
Yeah.
don't remember the lap, but SNZ did an absolutely horrendous dive bomb on like the third to last corner.
Oh, he's just taking after me. Don't worry about it.
No, I think the attempt was there, but it was definitely. I don't know what he was
Too late.
expecting. I think he thought maybe he'd have more grip and more turn in, but.
Oh, was that a veil? Because I think I looked back and I just saw pure chaos in my room. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an incredibly chaotic race. But we will move on to Young Himi Dimes. How do you feel the race went for you this evening?
Well, I think it went okay. Besides the whole 10-second penalty that kind of shafted me. I could have placed higher, but obviously couldn't do anything. Had some good battles as well. Made it much more difficult with obviously F2 low downforce, just making it all the more difficult, and as well as no ERS, making it even more difficult on the straights.
Yeah, obviously, like with no ERS, there's no way to defend against the driver with DRS, and you're literally
Unless
just a
you've
sitting
got
duck.
unless you've got very high wings or very low wings, I should say. You can't exactly do all that much.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it
So
was a
it
very
just makes it
entertaining
all
race to watch
difficult.
from the commentary booth, and I'm looking forward to seeing next week's one. But we will move on to Arrow, who did win the sprint race and managed to finish P2 in the main race. So, Arrow, how did it feel to finally finish first on track?
I've done it plenty of times, but
Oh, sorry, in WHF.
I've also did it in plenty of times in SSR whenever we were doing F2 before. But it's been a while since we've done an F2 competition, so it's good to be back. But I'm a little bit bummed. Me and Echo had it coming together, and then I got front wing damage, and then that was kind of my race because I couldn't get the exit out of Maggots and Beckets that I wanted, like the whole race. So it was very difficult to try and even go for any real overtakes. So anytime I could have an overtaking opportunity, he'd just switch back me or keep it around the outside. He just had way more front end. So
Yeah, I saw that coming together. Was it like turn 1, 2, 4, 5? Turn.
Luffield. I think it was Luffield. Going to Brooklands.
Yeah, and
I was behind them and I just look on my mini map and I see yellow flag and I'm like, oh.
yeah, it was a very unfortunate coming together. But I thought it showed a bit of sportsmanship. Him waiting for you after that. But overall, how do you feel the race went for you? Do you feel it was a good race, or do you feel you could have done anything better?
I probably would prefer to win, but I'll just practice more for the next time because the whole day I've been trying to set up this my monitor arms. So literally, I got one lap today. Thankfully, I practiced a little bit in the middle of the week because otherwise, I don't think I would have been anywhere near the win. Because the F2 cars are difficult to drive. You have to really brake a lot earlier than the line tells you to, which I was worried about because I was like, I have a feeling a lot of the people here in the lobby don't know that, and that's why on lap 1 I was just trying to avoid all the chaos, which thankfully I did. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of people there who got caught up due to I'm assuming people didn't realize
How
that they
different
could
the cars
brake.
are.
I did see. I don't even remember which lap 1 it was, but one of the lap 1s, someone absolutely murdered someone.
Was that in the sprint?
It might have been, but I was like directly behind this person. I just seen this red arrow coming. I was like, oh, this is not gonna be good. So I just kind of braced for impact, and it was like, okay, thankfully they avoided me, but they definitely killed the person who was on the outside of me. But a lot of people don't realize you need to brake a good bit more before the line says. And if you don't use line, then hopefully you've did some F2 practice to at least kind of learn how much stopping power is in the cars.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know, when we had that evening when we were doing the 5 lappers, I was like, damn, these feel way like technically worse, I guess you could say, than the Formula One cars as far as braking and turning and gearing down and all of that. But they sound a lot better, I'd say. I much prefer the sound of the Formula 2 cars. And we'll move over to our race winner, Echo, winning the opening race for our mini series here at WHF for the Formula 2 races during the gap. How do you feel the race went for you, Echo? Obviously, we saw you at the front pretty much since turn 1. Was it just smooth sailing, or did you have any difficulties with anything?
I mean, with the sprint, obviously it was starting P10, so it was a struggle trying to get positions in the first couple of laps, and then from there, about lap 5, I just started finding the groove off the car, and then managed to make up positions, and I did unfortunately have a penalty. I was battling for P2 because Arrow was just way gone in the sprint. He had amazing pace that sprint race. So yeah, that time penalty really did like not do me good because Godzilla, he was in P4 and he managed to get P2 and I finished P3, but the race just then, it went good, but with the contact between me and Aro, I don't know what happened, to be honest, because we were both wheel to wheel coming onto the corner after that main DRS straight, and I realised that I think my rear wheel, I think it clipped Ari's wing, and that caused him to spin out, so that's why I waited for him and let him get the position back.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really entertaining battle to watch, especially after the second DRS zone where Arrow would do an overtake and then you'd do the switchback. You know, very good battle between you two throughout the race. And honestly, further back, there was even more chaos. You should definitely look at watching the stream back. There was just, I mean, both in the sprint and the main race, just absolute cinema through and through. Yeah, but congratulations to Echo for winning here this evening in the opening race. Congratulations to Arrow for winning the sprint race and picking up a P2 in the main race. And sorry to Lime, I suppose, for bottling his potential podium.
Wait, Lime, where did you finish?
I was literally 4 tenths behind Kevin.
Jeez.
Yeah, I literally, because of the wobble that I had literally coming out of Vale, I would have been P3 because I was like 3.2 seconds up. But I just got on the power too early and I just started wobbling all over the place, so I lost it. But here's what it is.
I just didn't expect the gap to be that far behind.
Yeah, I know.
What he's not telling you is he had it in the bag and he got a track limits. That is what just
Well, I did not necessarily had it in my
You
bag,
had it
did
in
I?
the bag,
Like,
mate. You were matching pace with Kevin. You were losing maybe a tenth a lap with like 5 laps to go. You had between 2.2 and 2.6 seconds ahead of him. You know, you would have
yeah,
gotten the
true.
free DRS from Lewis 8 times Ferrari, which would have opened that gap even more. But then you went and got a 3-second time penalty.
Wait, I got a
Yeah, I
question.
suppose
What
you
happened
could
to my
say.
teammate Godzilla? I heard that
He just retired.
retired.
He just retired
He's
the
not
bits.
happy. If you look in the chat, he's not happy.
Did he get taken out, or did he just want to retire?
I think
I got taken out.
I think somebody
Sorry.
I think somebody may have done something incredibly stupid, and that probably just pissed him off. I don't think he had the best sprint race to begin with, so opening up the
He
main
finished
race like
P2 in the sprint.
Did he?
Swear he finished second because
He
he
did.
was
You're right.
in
What was
fourth,
even talking
and
about?
then I had a penalty. I had 6 seconds, and I can't remember who was in third. Because I went Aro, Godzilla, me, and then I think it was 8 times Ferrari that finished fourth in the sprint.
I must admit, what a strategy from 8 times Ferrari. If he didn't have that 10-second, what a strategy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. As soon as I saw him come out on softs, I was like, yeah, I'm screwed.
Mate.
But he's got a 10 seconds, so I'm just gonna let him go.
Mate, he made a second in half a lap on you.
I know. It's crazy.
The pace
Such a
that
good
man had
strategy.
on those softs was ridiculous. But I do remember seeing Cod saying that he was really not happy and he may not see the mini series through. Unfortunately. But Arrow, are we back to normal time from next week?
Yeah, we'll be back at 8 o'clock next week for both tiers.
Excellent.
I think next race for F2 is Belgium.
Yep.
It is indeed. I hate Belgium. I don't
I love
get
Belgium.
on with it, but I'll be watching, so I won't have to worry about that.
Don't
Is
forget
there a
about
race on
tomorrow.
Is there a race tomorrow?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
May Mystery Month.
Yeah.
We don't.
So
and
we
it's a
don't
mystery,
know,
so
we don't know what track.
No, we don't know nothing.
We know
Alright,
nothing.
that's fine.
It could be.
When do we get
slicks in
told the track?
wet.
When we get in the lobby.
Oh fuck! So there's gonna be no practice.
Yep.
Nope.
You don't. That's the beauty behind May Mystery Month is a lot of people going into races will be sweating a couple hours beforehand, and the good thing about May Mystery Month is you can just show up and you can get on with
Yeah.
your life as normal leading up to that. You don't need to be like
You
sweating
don't
for
know
hours
what your
beforehand.
pace will be like.
You
know, like-
literally you can enjoy time with family up until
I must.
8 o'clock whenever we start.
I must
I'm gonna
admit,
eat a Sunday
I did
roast
not.
before the race.
I did not. I did not practice at all for this, and somehow I was matching Kevin's pace. I was at work all day, and I don't know how I got that high up, but I did. Thing
Yeah.
is, I could have got closer to Arrow's time in qualifying, but I messed up like 2 or 3 corners. I just went too deep, because I forgot to brake too early. But I still somehow came third. I don't know.
Well, you showed us that you can throw it away just as mysteriously as you managed to get it.
Yeah,
So next week in
Exactly.
Belgium, you're gonna have to get us that podium. I feel like you owe it to myself and Brian Kippy in the chat, who was absolutely heartbroken for you. He's actually said
Okay.
Lime causes me emotional pain. So you owe it to Brian Kippy.
sorry, Brian. Sorry, Brian.
Surprised there
Sorry.
wasn't safety cars, to be honest. Surprised.
Some of the
So
stuff that
was
was
I.
happening, man. I thought for sure there was gonna be a safety car.
I thought with all like the retirements that were going on, there was gonna be at least one safety car. Like not a single one.
No,
What?
everybody was kind and retired in the pits. So that was nice to see.
I swear LTJ Ellis retired on track. Because when I saw
In
he
the
retired, I
sprint he
looked
did.
and he
In
was
the
like,
sprint he did.
yeah. Yeah. Still no safety car.
No, but it wasn't on track. I think he retired in a gravel trap.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, I think that'll just about wrap it up. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time, we've got May Mystery Month, and in the commentary booth will be Arrow. He's also the organizer for May Mystery Month, so nobody knows what's coming except for him. And
Imagine if it's Monaco. Monaco first rate.
Monaco sim damage wet.
Some damage wet on slicks.
That was fun. Though.
Okay, I'll retire.
The stream will probably start either 2:45, 10:00 or 5:00, 7, depending on. And I'll start the stream, and I want everyone to tune in to the stream to make sure they know what's happening, because I'll have to let everyone know, 1, the track, and 2, the circumstance as well of the whatever the race is.
Shit, I might have to go to every track and get set up now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have a setup for every track.
If you all want to get a setup for every track, then that's on you, you know. But personally, for me, I would just show up and try and have a good time.
I'm just gonna go to every track and copy Arrow setups. That's usually what I base half of mine off.
No, I don't use Arrow setups.
I like how pointy.
They're too quick.
I have a whole file.
I use Raptors.
You know what's funny, Lime, is I use all of Raptors, so basically we're using the same thing.
Me racing on controller though, I've got to find like a decent setup that's basically controller, not wheel.
Yeah, that Arrow race is on controller.
Yeah, Raptor is wheel, but his setups are OP, so I've used them anyway.
Yeah, they are OP. Oh my god.
Like most of the ones that I use in the file, they're all wheel, but I just tweak them a bit.
Raptors are like almost like Max Verstappen-esque. Like the front is just so pointy.
I like it like that though.
That's what I like. The front is so pointy. Wherever you want it to go, just go. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. So tomorrow's May Mystery Month. Next week we're back for Formula 2 in Belgium. I believe we'll need somebody else to stand in, as I won't be available, unfortunately. But I have been Scones, and this has been WHF Formula 2 for our in-between seasons break. And it's been an eventful one. And we will find somebody to raid.
We're raiding in Fraddock.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and have a lovely evening.